everyone, this is Maya Abe with Rubato Music Therapy, and today I'm going to answer the top 5 questions that people ask me when they find out I'm a music therapist. The first question that people always ask me when they find out I'm a music therapist is, what is music therapy? Excellent question. Music therapy is the use of music, both receptive and active, to achieve non-musical goals. These goals come in 6 different goal areas, and those are social, emotional, cognitive, communication, physical, and spiritual. A social music therapy goal can look like taking turns playing an instrument or being aware of others in a group. An emotional goal could look like identifying an emotion like anger or joy, and also developing coping skills. A communication goal could be working on certain speech sounds or making choices. And a cognitive goal could be following directions or increasing attention span. A physical goal could be fine motor skills, like working each one of your fingers, or gross motor skills, like the whole movement of your arm. And a spiritual goal could be working on spiritual support or self-identity. As you can see, music therapy is easily adaptable to every client's needs because there's so many different areas that we can work on. Everybody, regardless of age or ability, can benefit from music therapy, and the cool thing about it is that there's no experience in music needed whatsoever. The second question that people always ask me when they find out I'm a music therapist is, what does music therapy look like? Music therapy is really flexible, so there's not really a strict protocol on what each session looks like. I usually design everything around the needs of the clients and the needs of the group at that time. Even though there's not really a strict guideline on how to do music therapy, people usually have 4 main methods that they work around, and those are recreative, receptive, improvisation, and composition. Recreative uses clients' preferred music for active music making. A good example of this is when I used Lovely by Billie Eilish in an adolescent girl group. This was a song that they requested because they all had a really strong connection. So we talked about how we could make our own version of this song. This helped us work on teamwork because they had to decide together what kind of instruments they wanted, who was going to play what instruments, who was going to sing, and how the instruments were going to come together. This also works on communication and social connection as well. Receptive Method utilizes clients' preferred music to engage in receptive music listening and discussion. So using the example of Lovely again, we actually discussed the lyrical content of this song, and they talked about how this song embodies how they feel trapped in their own minds sometimes and what they can do when they do feel trapped. These lyrics provided a great foundation for us to work off of. By being able to talk about the artist's intentions, it is a really non-threatening way to be able to talk about what's going on with us. The third method is improvisation, which is using improvised music for expression and collaboration. A great way that I used improvisation in my sessions is with an intention-setting drum circle. I like to start my sessions with this because we play how we feel right now and how we want to feel at the end of our session. We then talk about how we want to use our music today to get to where we want to be at the end of our session. This helps us give a direction for our session, and it gives everybody a sense of empowerment and responsibility for how our session is going to go today. The fourth method that people usually use is composition. And composition is creating or rewriting songs to personalize them to the client's journey. An example of this that I used recently was I took the song The 12 Days of Christmas and I turned it into The 12 Days of Winter, where we talked about our favorite winter activities and turned them into a song. The third question that people always ask me is, what kind of people do you work with? Great question. I think that where people see music therapy most frequently is with older adults and children with special needs. But actually, everybody can benefit from music therapy. I've worked with people in team building corporate workshops. I have worked with people with substance use disorders and in mental health. I have worked with Mommy and Me classes. I have done older adults with dementia. Just everybody, no matter what age or ability, can benefit from music therapy. The fourth question people ask me is, how do you become a music therapist? So there's actually a couple ways that you can become a music therapist. One way is you can just get your bachelor's in music therapy. So that's one way. I took a little bit more of a roundabout approach. I got my bachelor's in music and psychology, and then I went on to do my master's in music therapy equivalency program. So that's kind of like a bachelor's and a master's rolled into one. Once you finish school, you have to go on to do a 6-month internship. You have to do 1,200 clinical hours in order to be qualified to take the board exam. Once you take the board exam and you pass, then you are finally officially an MTBC. So the last one isn't really a question, but I'd like to clear up some misconceptions that I feel people have about music therapy. And it is that people feel that I just go in and play music or that I teach music. A musician's purpose is to play the music to the best of their ability, and they aren't necessarily there to address non-musical goals of the audience. But the cool thing about music is that it's inherently therapeutic, so you can already see the awesome effects of music on the audience just by listening to music. A music teacher's focus is on musical goals, so they're there to make sure that you learn your notes, your rhythm, have good intonation, and so on. Working on musical goals can actually be applicable to in other parts of your lives, but the teacher's purpose is to make sure that you have your musical knowledge set. A music therapist utilizes all aspects of music, and our focus is on non-musical goals. So even though it looks like I'm playing music or I'm teaching music, the intention behind everything that I'm doing is a non-musical goal. As a music therapist, I've had extensive training in order to constantly reassess and make sure that my clients' goals are being met. I'm able to redirect and change direction if need be, but my ultimate goal is to make sure that my clients' goals are being met. That's top 5 questions that people ask me when they find out I'm a music therapist. I get a lot of other questions too, but those are just the most common ones. If you have any more questions or comments about anything in this video, feel free to leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you for my next video.